I lost my drone. Yes, this is not clickbait. I really lost my drone on a hill. Yes, on a hill. What happened? Well, I was cycling in France with Virgo. We were on a trip for 4 weeks, cycling from the Jura, the mountains, to the sea. And we were kind of doing easy enough routes. One of them was the Via Rona, along the Rhone River, very flat. But then there was this kind of hill, really high hill we had to climb. The hill, we have to go to the hill. Going up the first little bit. And I know it's going to get steeper. After this, the hairpin stop, and that could be harder. So I'm here. So we picked the flat Via Rona, and the local tourism board said, well, that campsite you picked, you know, they had floods there recently. We think it's better to stay on this campsite. And I quickly looked and I saw, okay, you have to climb. Oh well, doesn't matter, we just climb. But then only last night I saw the percentages. That one hill was even 13%, and I was like, wow, why did I say yes? Because you see, we were kind of on a press trip, and press trip means that I was there for stories for magazines and newspapers, and the tourism boards then help with planning the trip. They sponsor a few things, so they book some accommodations here and there, and they thought, well, there is this campsite that's really, really beautiful, so let's bring those cyclists there. But, well, it was kind of hard. I know that when I will be up there, it's going to be amazing, and it will be an amazing view, and I would have totally deserved that view, and it will be amazing. But at the moment, I'm like, why couldn't we just stay down there and pitch the tent? But okay. That's just the mentality. It will be nicer up there. It will be nice. We made it. Made it. It's a very beautiful spot, I have to say. Made it. So as you can see, it ended up all great, you know. Okay, it was hard, I was sweaty, but we ended there at the campsite and it was very pretty. It was nice, went for a swim, everything perfect. The thing is though with press trips that during the evening sometimes you meet people of the tourism board, which is all fine, you know. So we went for a very nice dinner with a lady there of the tourism board. She drove us around and it was all fine, and we had a good sleep in the tent. And then the next day it was time to go down. The thing is, when I was in France for 4 weeks, my plan was actually to post a video, upload a video every week. As you notice, I didn't do that. Maybe you notice I wasn't actually there, and that wasn't like planned. If that was planned, of course I would have let you know. So sorry everyone. It was just, there were so many deadlines out of a sudden. We were allowed to travel. A lot of press trips that were postponed suddenly happened. So it wasn't just France. I went to Ireland, to Germany, to Belgium, loads of trips in the Netherlands, and that all after each other. And so we were in France and I was kind of run down. Not just physically, also physically, because, you know, I've got fibromyalgia, which is a chronic illness and with pain, and I need to take time off once in a while, and I didn't. But next to that, I noticed that mentally I was getting tired. And when you're on a long cycling trip, you notice that you actually have to think of a lot of things. And my head was not just thinking of the cycling trip, but also of the deadlines. I actually had deadlines while we were there. That's the reason why I wasn't able to upload videos, because on days off I was kind of typing, doing photos, being busy. So basically, the next day, I was quite tired and we had to go down. Well, we had to, it was great to go down. And I thought, in my head, I thought I can make this really cool video describing you what it's like to go up on a hill. I also explained the things, you have to look out for, things that are important when you're climbing a hill. And I thought, wow, it's great if I can film us going down, enjoying the moment. So I gave Virgo a GoPro. And I was thinking of a lot of things to film it with my iPhone, the GoPro, and we flew down. And I also was thinking I want to use a drone somewhere. And the night before, when we were with the lady of the tourism board, she drove us to a restaurant, and there was this really beautiful village, and I thought, if we can just cycle down there, and then with the drone I can film us going down, and it will be like a great footage. So that's what I did. But I kind of went the wrong way.
Say hello. On the camera.
It's not funny. So we ended up at this really bad road, more like a mountain bike trail, and I felt very sorry because, also for Virgo, because he really wanted to enjoy the moment going down, and I was just busy with GoPros and iPhones. And I mean, cycling is also about the moment, and when you try to capture everything, you kind of maybe lose that feeling. But still, I felt I wanted to see that village, and I thought it would be so cool to film it. So I got my drone out, tried to get to the village, and then Virgo went down the mountain bike trail, and I thought, oh, it's cool when I can just like follow him with the drone. So that's what I did. I followed him. Well, he had a GoPro, and I followed him with the drone. And then I thought, oh, I can film me, but the batteries were almost gone, So I was filming me, and then he start landing himself because the batteries were gone. I mean, he was very low. I only fly with low batteries when it's very low, nothing can happen. So I went down there, and I thought, okay, let's pack my stuff. I first wanted to walk to the drone, and I thought, oh no, I better, because I also had you see, a lot of things broke on this trip. My iPhone broke, my GPS system broke. I forgot my medicines in the hotel. I had to take the train back. That's the kind of trip it was, because my mind wasn't totally there at the bike trip. So I thought, I just bought a new phone, I better not break it. So I first thought, okay, I pack everything here, and then later I get the drone. And yeah, so I packed, and I cycled down the hill. Yoo-hoo! Yay! Yoo-hoo! Oh! Ow!
Take it easy.
So, okay, after that we were finally down there and cycled on the Via Rona, beautiful cycling trail next to the Rhone. We even had a little break. I made a film shot with an apple that an apple I actually got on the hill, and I thought, nice way of end the video with an apple, enjoying my apple, after all the torture, enjoyment. yeah, and then later on, we filled our bottles with some water. And I was looking for my wallet. And then there was the box of the drone. And it was very light. I opened the case. And there was no drone in it. Nothing. Nada. Just a plastic cover. And at that moment I realized that I packed all my stuff and I cycled down and I left the drone on the road. How that happened? Well, it's explained. My mind was pretty occupied with different things. Also, I don't know if I can use it as an excuse, but the chronic illness I have, fibromyalgia, it makes your head sometimes really foggy. It's called brain fog. And especially in the morning, it can be really bad. And I noticed at the moment, because I'm so busy, it's getting worse, basically. That's why I broke everything, I guess, and I left my meds in the hotel. So what to do? Well, I decided to take a taxi. I ordered a taxi, Virgo made a photo, and then, well, unfortunately, my battery of my phone was empty, so I couldn't film that. But with this taxi driver, I went the whole way back. It was kind of hard to, because I hardly speak French, he didn't speak any English, and it was very hard to describe where to go to, and I didn't want to send him on a very bad road with his nice car, so we went looking everywhere. Actually, we passed that beautiful village and I could see it, and I was like, okay, at least I see my village. And I was, of course, convinced my drone would be there because I left it on that mountain bike trail, this road. No one comes there. So, you know, it will be there. And I got out of the taxi and it wasn't there. It wasn't. It was gone. I looked everywhere. He looked everywhere. No trace. No trace of the drone. So I took the taxi back. Cost around €80. I was convinced, really convinced, that someone would ring me because my phone number is on it. And I mean, it was just lying there and, you know, someone would find it. But I never got a call. It was gone. It was gone. Happily enough, I saved most of my footage before. But the idea that my SD card is there with a lot of footage and that it's in someone else's hands is kind of weird. Well, maybe they thought I wanted to rob their house because I filmed there and there was a villa on the footage. Was that it? I mean, I wasn't going to use it, but maybe. I really don't know. Rang the police, did try everything, but it was gone. So all I have now is my remote control, my spare batteries, my charger, my box, but no drone. So I guess the lesson is that when you're on a bike trip, stay focused on the bike trip. And so I did do film a lot during our trip in France. I am going to edit that. It's just, as I mentioned, it was so busy. I really couldn't find time to edit videos. And I really want to enjoy it. It's something I want to enjoy and not feel too much as work. Well, and every minute was taken. It's really partly because of the corona that all trips were postponed and then happened. It's also that cycling is becoming extra popular now, which I'm really grateful for that. I'm really happy. I think that's something positive that happened in this time. And it also means that I get more work, which is of course great, and I can't complain. And I was very happy to see that I've been able to do so much, and because of the fibromyalgia, the chronic illness I have, that I've been able to do all of this. But yes, it has definitely been too much. It's time very soon to listen to my body, and I've gone a bit too far. But at the same moment, I'm really happy that I've been able to do this, because my life was very, very different. I have to admit, years and years ago, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do all this cycling. I really couldn't take much. I was really in pain a lot on a couch. A totally different lifestyle. So I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilometers the last month, and well, as mentioned before, I did film as well. So the videos are coming back now. Thank you for being patient, for still being there. I'm really sorry that I didn't explain this earlier, what's been going on. And the drone, well, of course I bought a new one. So Mr. Drone is gone, but now I've got Mrs. Mini. As you know, YouTubers get sponsored by brands. They get free stuff all the time. Just, I wanted to say, I didn't get this for free. I just bought it there in France. Really missed having my drone and bought a new one. And this is the Mini 2. So the thing is, I never made actually a video about the Mavic Air that I have. But they were kind of, I don't know, I loved it and I hated it because sometimes it took so long to get it in the air. And this little guy, he just goes. I mean, he's, wow, it's amazing. And even like the people who cycle with me, they're like, gee, that's in the air in no time, because before it took so long, and they're, yeah, I have to say they were pretty impatient, and I can understand, because, you know, it's hard to cycle with someone who stops all the time. And then at this guy, he just goes up, and or misses, sorry, this misses, and yeah, I'm really happy with her. Also, the remote control is much, much better. So in a way, I lost my drone, but now I've got Mrs. Mini, and pretty happy with it. Thank you and for watching. And if you like this video, of course, it would be great if you can put your thumb up. As I said, more videos will definitely come now. I've got so many footage and ideas. So I'm back, and I'm really planning to stay here for a while and post a video every week again. Thank you. Happy cycling. Bye bye. That was a story to tell.